This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Community in mourning. Shelburne County residents come together after a dog attack kills a 13-year-old boy.
Raising rates. Nova Scotia Power's proposed hike goes before a public hearing.
And after a dry summer, Cape Breton farms get creative to bring in business this winter.
Our latest system bringing rain, changing to snow overnight in through Thursday, but we're clearing with some sun breaking in. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. A community is in mourning today, and police are still investigating after a tragic and fatal dog attack just outside Shelburne. The teenage boy was mauled by 3 large dogs.
He died from his injuries in a Halifax hospital 2 days after the attack. Preston Mulligan has more from Shelburne.
Well, we are just 2 or 3 kilometers away from where the attack happened, and people in this community have been telling us today just how they're feeling this tragedy and that they have this boy and his family in their hearts, and they're sending their condolences to the family. Now, here is a picture of 13-year-old Drew Nickerson. This is the photo of him that his mother asked us to use, showing her son Drew the way she'll remember him and doing what he loves. Now, the attack happened along the Upper Sandy Cove Road just after 5 p.m. on Saturday. Today, RCMP released some details about those dogs. 2 were Cane Corsos, that's a large breed of dog, and the third was a Rottweiler. Staff Sergeant Mark McPherson says the boy's injuries were very severe. 911 was called, and RCMP along with EHS responded.
The boy was transported by one of the dog owners towards the hospital because of this, what they felt the severity of the injuries were.
The boy was then airlifted to hospital in Halifax, and he died there on Monday. Now, McPherson told me this afternoon that they have video surveillance of the attack. Video and audio is recorded from the home of one of the neighbors in that area. He says he's not seen that video, and he's trying to limit the number of his members at the detachment who will be required to view it. In the meantime, the 3 dogs were euthanized yesterday by a veterinarian. But there is shock and sadness all over this part of the province right now. We could hear it in Staff Sergeant McPherson's voice, and he says his members are upset by it as well. The boy was a grade 8 student at Shelburne Regional High School. The Tri-County Regional Center for Education said in a statement today that his loss will be felt widely and that supports are in place at the school for other students. Right now, loved ones are raising money for the boy's family.
Just a place for kids to be able to run free and explore nature and have fun, and Don told me that's what Drew really liked about living there. Was he loved the outdoors, he loved to be on his bicycle.
I just want residents to know that myself, my officers, and our partners were working to determine why this happened and the facts, and to collect this, and you know, ultimately this is terrible, and really the focus is the family and supporting them.
Staff Sergeant McPherson says anyone who has any information they think might be valuable in this investigation should get in touch with the local police here in Shelburne. They're still investigating. No word yet on charges. Preston Mulligan, CBC News, Shelburne.
A scary situation in Sydney this morning. Police say it appears someone threw a live grenade through the window of a downtown business. Cape Breton Regional Police were called to Pitt Street after a live grenade was found inside Ideal Car Care. There was visible damage to the front door of the building. Officers evacuated nearby buildings and closed the street to vehicle and pedestrian traffic. The area is a mix of businesses and residential, almost in the heart of downtown Sydney.
It's currently under investigation right now, and I can't comment on if there's any suspects at this time or not, but it's being investigated.
Police say it appears the incident is isolated. Military personnel and an explosive disposal unit from Halifax were needed to detonate the grenade.
To a message of caution now, delivered by a mother whose daughter was sexually assaulted at a young age. She and her family are on edge as the man convicted of the crime could be released on conditions for months, pending an appeal hearing. The CBC's Cassidy Chisholm has that story.
The mother of a young girl who was molested by a close family friend is calling for changes to Nova Scotia's justice system as the offender prepares to appeal his conviction, which could mean he's released on bail with conditions after only 3 weeks in prison. In December, 41-year-old Robert Warren Monroe of Halifax was sentenced to 4.5 years on a charge of sexual interference related to the May 2023 incident. Monroe had been babysitting the girl, who was 4 years old at the time.
After everything we've gone through and the hurdles we've faced, we thought finally we got justice, some semblance of justice. Because what can really make up for what happened to your daughter? Nothing can make up for that because she's going to live with that her whole life.
CBC News is concealing the mother's identity to protect her daughter, who is the subject of a publication ban. The victim's mother says the situation has her family scared, knowing that Monroe could be living at home and going about his life if out on bail.
We have to sleep at night knowing that he's back home again. And of course, that's upsetting, and you have to wonder what it's all for. If he can just do whatever he wants and still be granted bail, at what point are predators going to be treated as such? Because that's what he is.
She says she's concerned about him previously breaching his conditions by being around children, charges he's expected to face in court in early 2027. The mother says she'd like the judicial system changed to better consider how these decisions affect the victims and their families, especially after the accused has been convicted.
I do want to bring light to the fact that the justice system is really, really focused on protecting the predators, innocent until proven guilty. But the problem here is he's been proven guilty and he's still getting so much leeway, so much freedom. And at what point are the victims going to be considered? Because trauma is real.
CBC News contacted Monroe's appeal counsel, who declined to comment while the matter is before the courts. Cassidy Chisholm, CBC News, Halifax.
A public hearing started today for Nova Scotia Power's proposed rate changes. The utility says higher rates will improve services, but critics say the rate hikes are unjustified and unaffordable. Taryn Grant has the details.
Nova Scotia Power wants to increase rates for residential customers by more than 8% over the next year. It made the request to the Energy Board in the fall and is now arguing its case in a public hearing.
It's never a good time for our customers to see a request for a rate increase. We understand that, but we also hear from our customers that we need to continue to invest in reliability to make sure that Nova Scotians have access to a reliable electricity system.
Politicians are united in saying they are not okay with Nova Scotia Power's proposal. Premier Tim Houston has called the utility out of touch and says the proposal should be walked back or significantly reduced. He was not present on day one of the hearing, but opposition leaders were.
The board needs to find a way that this company can be responsible to Nova Scotians and provide the essential service that they need at a cost they can afford.
This is the second general rate application within 4 years, on top of annual requests for cost recovery from storms, from fuel adjustment mechanism, and that fuel is expensive coal that we continue to burn.
Customer representatives all signed off on Nova Scotia Power's proposal before it was filed, but that does not make approval a sure thing. Board members grilled company officials about the details of their application, and their lawyers highlighted that for the first time in at least 22 years, Nova Scotia Power did not put up any members of the executive leadership team. After speaking to reporters beforehand, the CEO was in the room for the hearing, but he was not on the witness panel to take board questions. Company officials who were on the panel say Greg and other top brass sat it out because they were not as intimately involved in crafting the proposal. Scrutiny on day one was also directed to the fact that residential customers face a rate increase that's twice the average. Large industrial customers and other groups could see rates go down. Nova Scotia Power could have chosen a different calculation method that would have spread the burden out more evenly.
The problem is that the math is holding Nova Scotians to unbearable energy rates. We need to fix the math. I mean, there are other methods. The math is math, but there's always various methods, and there's many out there, so they should all be considered.
The hearing is expected to run into next week, and the board is likely to reserve its decision. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
All right, let's bring in Ryan now for a quick look at weather.
And messy weather we're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. Messy tonight, rain and then snow as we turn into the page for the overnight and into the early hours of Thursday. Tom and Amy, a rainfall warning in effect for Central through this evening, and we are looking at snowfall warnings into the overnight. northern Cumberland and Colchester counties, and a souette wind warning for tonight as the winds will be howling from the east to southeast across Cape Breton, particularly in through Inverness County. Widespread rainfall totals in the 10 to 20, 25 millimeter range, but this section through central with that rainfall warning looking most likely to get into that 20 to 30 to 40, even 50 millimeters locally, not out of the question here by the time we are said and done. And there's the snow, looking at kind of a widespread trace to 5 centimeters from eastern areas of the valley across to Antigonish, but it's those higher terrain areas that could get into that 5 to 10 to 15 centimeter range, particularly in through from the Cobequid Pass to Mount Tom, those higher terrain areas. This is where things are going to be a little on the snowy side, especially for that Thursday morning commute. Be mindful that we'll all look at a taste of flurries overnight into Thursday morning, but some sun breaking through into the afternoon and a little more for Friday. We'll have the details on that good news coming out.
All right. Well, I want to hear it. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Speaking of weather, this past summer's season was dry and hot, making it a difficult time for firms across the province. But this winter, firms in Cape Breton are coming up with new ways to bring in business and to get people to visit. Anna Rack reports.
At Ager Lane Flower Farm, the hot and dry weather this summer led to tough conditions for flower growth. Entering the winter season, owners Percy and Clary Ager are trying something new to bring people to the farm. They built a sauna called Audrey's Harbor Micro Sauna.
We had some folks reach out that said, like, we love to sauna. And so it's kind of like, if you love to sauna and then you're seeing, oh, we do this flower farm, we have an event space. So I think that both ways it's pinging back and forth. And it's also bringing folks out to Big Brador into this beautiful community.
In the summer, the owners had to cancel a market event they had planned on the farm due to wildfire risk. Now they're hoping to use the sauna to help them get through the winter season. In their first soft launch month, they had 57 visitors.
I think it's just so important for us to just forge this connection within our community, and supporting small businesses and farmers, and just, it's a great way to meet other people and just spend time in nature.
Almost 2 hours away in Judic, Twisted Roots Farm is selling goat walks. People can walk the trails through the forest. So far, Will Kozlowski and his partner Terry Cryer have goat walked with over 1,000 visitors.
Being such a small farm and just two of us, we can't grow and sell enough food to not have to work off farm. So the goat walks are a great way for us to also bring people to the farm and to show them what we're doing, and then it also generates some extra income for us as well.
The owners also built an education center space on the off-grid farm. They teach homesteading and small-scale farm skills. They also hold events here, like soap making and holiday wreath building workshops.
Because I think that our societies right now are just completely separating from food and from connection to nature. So our excitement is to be able to bring that back in and to be able to bring people here to connect again with where their food comes from, and also to be able to connect with healthy ecosystems.
Kozlowski has plans to build glamping cabins on the property as well, for visitors to retreat back into nature. Anna Rack, CBC News, Judic.
Software company Ubisoft has closed its Halifax studio, putting 71 staff members out of work. It comes just days after workers voted to unionize. In a news release, the company says the closure is a result of ongoing measures to make the company more efficient and cut costs. The company also says Assassin's Creed Rebellion, the video game the studio was working on, has seen a steady revenue decline since it was released in 2018. In late December, 60 workers at the Halifax studio formed the company's first union in North America. The company tells CBC the restructuring exercise began before the unionization process.
The federal minister was in Cherrybrook this morning to announce plans for Black History Month.
Mark Miller, the Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture, says this February will focus on the brilliance and legacy of Black Canadians.
It's the 30th year that the country has celebrated Black history in this way. Dozens of people showed up for the announcement. For them, it was equally important that the minister chose to feature Cherrybrook on a national scale.
Well, that's very, very important. I was very thrilled to hear that, because it means there is recognition at the federal level. I know they sponsor various events, but now this is like the axis of the event. And this year, the celebration, I'm sure, is going to be much bigger.
The federal government is giving nearly $300,000 to organizations in Atlantic Canada to help recognize Black History Month.
Some graffiti in Halifax. Ryan is up next with the full weather forecast. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Well, if you like variety in your weather forecast, we seem to have it wet and snow.
Yes, but things do calm down, right? So we get a bit of a breather.
Yeah, that's right. And temperatures, again, kind of riding near seasonal. I still have not had time to show the December graphics that from the summary for December, but I've got them ready. So tomorrow night I should dust those off and show them.
Sure.
But let's start with what's going on right now. And you can see that temperatures are indeed very mild from what we've been seeing over the last few weeks. We're at 4 on the plus side, Western Head and at Bacaro, 0 at Pictou. That's our coolest spot there at the Caribou Point Station. 7 at Sable Island, our provincial hotspot. And as we look at those winds, sustained 20, sustained at 63 at Beaver Island, and Grand Etang 76, gusting to 100. So there are those Lay-Souette winds that are in effect right now, and the Lay-Souette wind warning in effect. You can see the rainfall warning that it's in effect for most of central parts of the province, and a snowfall warning in effect for northern Colchester and Cumberland, and a freezing rain warning on the other side of the border in through New Brunswick. I can tell you that already, based on weather stations, Shelburne's picked up 20 millimeters, 20 to 30 millimeters through Queens. 20 to 40 millimeters has already fallen in through Lunenburg County as of 6:20 local time, and Halifax has picked up 15 to 20 millimeters, and this heavier rain continues to track through. As we look at the outlook, the rainfall outlook with totals, including what's already fallen, through Wednesday into Thursday morning, and this is again the swath that is expected to be in that 20 to 40, maybe 50 millimeter local range. Snowfall outlook, looking at that bullseye here, northern Colchester, Cumberland into Mount Tom area of Antigonish, Pictou County, excuse me. That's where we could see those totals in the 5 to 15 centimeter range. But a 2 to 5 centimeter swath possible. Kentville down through Hants, northern Halifax, back towards Antigonish, and into northern Cape Breton as well. Now you can see the rain really looks like it's coming down here, but likely the radar picking up some wet snow aloft, even though it is falling as rain, which makes it look a little more intense than it is. But it's certainly coming down, no question about that, through the central areas of the province right now. And this is a slow-moving low, so we're getting all that rain on the backside. And note some of that mixing likely over the Cobequid Pass already, and certainly into New Brunswick, as this low is going to pull through, the colder air wrapping in on the other side, and we will indeed see that change over to some rain. Temperatures, quick look across the country, and that Arctic air has retreated back to the north, thankfully, and onto the other side of the world. We are looking at minus 10 in Iqaluit right now, so we even, again, a bit balmy for this time of year there. As we look at the outlook for tonight, northerly winds, 20 gusting to 40. Temperatures will fall to the freezing mark by morning. For tomorrow, the rain mixing to snow early on for you folks in Cape Breton. Overnight, switching over for the Highlands with a couple of centimeters there. The lingering flurries for the northeast, and then the sun starting to break through into the afternoon. So let's show you the timeline and note that rain transitioning to snow here for you folks through this evening. Cobequid Pass and Mount Tom. That's where we start to pick up that accumulating snow earlier, and then it's a change over to snow for all overnight into Thursday morning across the north. By 7 a.m., we're done for the western half, but we are looking at that lingering flurry action for the 104, the 105, Cape Breton, that transition for you folks tomorrow morning. And then into the afternoon, expecting the clouds to be a bit sluggish even into the early afternoon, but we will start to see some sunshine breaking through. And hey, not going to be complaining about that. Friday, sun and cloud, temperatures ranging from 1 to 4 on the plus side, and a good chunk of Friday will be nice indeed. And then the clouds building in late afternoon in through the evening. Our next system moves in, and this is going to be rain from tip to tip of the province. That will linger into Saturday morning, so a damp start to Saturday if you've got some plans. Some sunshine into the afternoon on the other side of that system, and that colder air that's moving in on the other side of that system will set the stage for this. And this is a system that's going to be moving out of the Great Lakes into our region Sunday morning. And it does look like snow, ice pellets, freezing rain, all on the menu before an eventual change to rain through the afternoon and evening from southwest to northeast. So Sunday looking like a bit of a mess. Showers mixed back to flurries on Monday, but note, temperatures staying mild, relatively speaking, through at least mid next week and possibly even into late next week, Tom and Amy.
Yeah, it's been quite a change. Good news. For sure. All right, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, weeds are a growing problem for potato farmers in the Maritimes as plants become resistant to some herbicides. But researchers now have a solution that doesn't use any chemicals.
Instead, they're using a piece of equipment that's used to crush potato vines as a way to help tackle the weeds. CBC's Nancy Russell has the details.
These researchers with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada are looking at a new way to deal with a growing problem for farmers. Weeds that have become resistant to chemicals, taking over fields and choking out crops.
Normally at harvest time, any weeds that are left uncontrolled in the field, we end up collecting those weed seeds and then spreading them back onto our fields. So we're doing a really good job at seeding our weeds while we're harvesting.
They turned to this piece of equipment, developed by a fellow research scientist, to crush potato vines as a way to control pests in potato fields. The potato vine crusher, or PVC, is attached to the potato harvester, meaning no extra work for the farmer.
So really minimal impact on productivity, and we're seeing a 20 to 30% greater reduction in viability of our weed seeds. So we take something like lamb's quarters. One of those plants will produce 70 to 80,000 seeds from a single plant in a year.
They tested out the idea here in the greenhouse under controlled conditions, then took the potato vine crusher out into a field to real-life growing conditions.
In the fall, while we were harvesting potatoes, we harvested some rows with the vine crusher on and some rows without the vine crusher. So with the various weed species, we decreased the germination by 13 to upwards of 26% in the fall.
The researchers say any reduction in weeds is important.
They compete for light water and nutrients with the potatoes, so all of the fertilizer that we would put down, the weeds would suck that up instead of the potato. We estimate that if you don't control your weeds in potato, you're going to get around up to 44% yield loss.
The idea of getting rid of weeds during harvest is already being done in other parts of Canada.
There's a Canadian manufacturer out west who's been building some of these units, and some of them are actually out driving around the prairies doing some crushing weed seeds.
The researchers say they're happy to share the design and hope some farmers will be interested in designing their own seed crusher to tackle their own weeds. Nancy Russell, CBC News, Harrington.
Coming up, rate hike hearing. An expert on energy policy weighs in on changes proposed by Nova Scotia Power.
public hearing got underway Wednesday for Nova Scotia Power's proposed rate changes. The utility is making the case for a rate hike. At the same time, it is under fire for questionable billing and its handling of last year's cyber breach, which compromised the personal information of hundreds of thousands of Nova Scotians. For more on this, I'm joined by energy policy expert Adam Fremeth with the Ivey Business School. So the head of NSP has said the utility has a strong case for increasing rates, contending the utility is balancing reliability and affordability. What do you make of that argument?
Well, in a case like this, the real focus is on the capital investment that the Nova Scotia Power is looking to put into the ground. And in this case, they've got a program of about $1.3 billion with the focus on hardening their structure and ensuring modernization of the grid. And so, that's really the focus of this case. And, when you go through the application, it's clear as to where that money is going to be spent over the next 5 years.
Now, the utility wants to raise residential rates by more than 8% within 1 year. How do you think that's going to go over with residential customers, especially those impacted by that cyber breach?
Yeah, of course. Affordability is front and center everywhere today. Grocery stores, obviously your electricity and heating bills as well. And so, a 4% over each year, and then 8% over the 2 years is going to be a heavy lift for homeowners, no doubt.
Well, how difficult do you think it will be for the utility to rebuild trust with customers, from the breach, from some questionable billing, and also from the ask of another increase?
Well, I think that's always going to be a challenge. But across the board, we're seeing electricity and utility rates going up across Canada, across the U.S. There's not one jurisdiction out there that's not realizing a significant increase in these costs as we're dealing with aging infrastructure and extreme weather events like you've seen out in Nova Scotia.
If Nova Scotia Power doesn't get the increase it is asking for, do you expect that will impact its credit rating?
I think that's a more challenging question. You have to look at the capital structure of the company. I think the big thing that the direct impact would be is on the reliability of electricity in the province. The money that's being spent or expected to be spent in Nova Scotia Power is to ensure that the lights stay on, especially when you have extreme weather events. And that's the focus of this case.
The provincial NDP has called on the Nova Scotia government to do an ownership and regulatory review of NSP. How challenging would a change of ownership be?
Well, that would be a huge change for the utility there. I would imagine that the NDP is looking perhaps to nationalize and bring NSP Power back under a government entity, perhaps. But that would be a great shift for the utility, and I'm not sure as perhaps whether or not that's the trend that we're seeing across the world as there's further privatization of the sector.
The last time Nova Scotia Power made a general rate application was back in 2022, and the province tried to block it by legislating a rate, spending, and profit cap on the utility, but the board approved the rate application anyhow. How likely do you think that might unfold this time around?
It's hard to say. The board is acting as an economic regulator, and so they're really taking into account the interests of both Nova Scotia Power as well as the ratepayers of the province that rely on the electricity and getting waking up every day and having the lights come on and businesses being able to operate as see fit. And so that's really the calculus that the board is taking into it. So while politicians may be presenting these types of options to it, at the end of the day, it's sort of outside the calculus that a typical economic regulator like the board would be considering.
Any predictions on how this may all shake out in the end?
Well, it's not clear quite yet, but this is a very interesting case, given that Nova Scotia Power has worked with many of the interveners in the province to already develop a settlement agreement as to what would be an effective approach to be moving forward with this. And so, really, in this case here, the board's evaluating a plan that's been agreed upon by many of the major ratepayers in the province. And so, it's going to be hard to necessarily overlook that, but there's going to be other considerations that will have to come into play.
All right, we shall see. Thank you so much for your time and your expertise. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Coming up, the mayor of Minneapolis tells ICE to get the F out of his city after agents shoot and kill a woman in her car.
And the road to rebuilding. Today marks 1 year since devastating wildfires broke out in Los Angeles and surrounding communities. Welcome back. There is anger in Minneapolis after a woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent. The Department of Homeland Security says the woman was committing an act of domestic terrorism.
But the mayor of Minneapolis blasted that characterization as, quote, garbage. Katie Nicholson has the latest from Washington and a warning you may find some of the images in this story disturbing.
Minneapolis and St. Paul are on high alert tonight after an ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis. This is one of the videos circulating that has been verified by CBC News. A woman in an SUV is parked in the middle of the street, apparently blocking the road. ICE agents stop their vehicle and walk towards her. One officer grabs the handle. She puts the vehicle in reverse briefly, then pulls forward before another agent fired 3 shots into the vehicle. Homeland Security had just sent 2,000 more agents into Minnesota following a December surge in the state. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, was quick to defend the actions of her agents.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. A woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him.
U.S. President Donald Trump posted a video that appeared to be a different angle of the incident and wrote in part, "The woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense." Based on the attached clip, it's hard to believe he is alive but is now recovering in the hospital. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, said he saw a video of the incident and said that Homeland Security's version of what happened was BS. And he had this message for ICE.
To ICE, get out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you.
Governor Tim Walz activated the Emergency Operations Center and issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard.
And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough.
Walz told Minnesotans, "I feel your anger," but appealed for calm, saying they want a show, but, quote, "we can't give it to them." The shooting's being investigated by the FBI and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. That agency will be looking into whether or not any state laws were broken. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
U.S. forces have seized 2 tankers transporting oil. It's part of the Trump administration's push to control Venezuelan oil and to pressure that country's government. Karen Pauls reports.
In one of 2 pre-dawn raids, grainy video shows troops fast roping off a helicopter hovering over an oil tanker in the Caribbean and boarding the ship. A second tanker, which had recently changed its name and its flag to Russia, also seized in the Atlantic Ocean on Wednesday. It had slipped through the U.S. maritime blockade of sanctioned tankers and refused to allow American forces to board it. Russian lawmakers are describing it as outright piracy.
As you've seen today, 2 more ships were seized. We are in the midst right now and, in fact, about to execute on a deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela. They can't move it because of our quarantine and because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rate.
Meanwhile, Trump administration officials are meeting with executives from U.S. oil companies this week. Trump wants them to invest billions and be up and running in Venezuela within 18 months, boosting crude oil production and exports.
There's a lot of private sector engagement that's happening right now. As you know, Secretary Wright, our energy secretary who's heading up this big project, is in Florida today meeting with some of these oil executives. And as we confirmed earlier, they will also be at the White House later this week. So they are absolutely eager to invest. They're eager about these opportunities.
But those plans will be delayed by infrastructure costs and deep uncertainty over the country's political future. After a congressional briefing on the Venezuelan mission, House Speaker Mike Johnson said the U.S. is not engaging in regime change. President Trump has repeatedly said the U.S. is now running the country. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Washington.
There's great concern in Europe over Donald Trump's repeated threats to take control of Greenland. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he plans to meet with Danish officials next week, while the White House confirmed Trump is considering a range of options to acquire Greenland, including military force. Crystal Gamansing reports from London.
European leaders are looking to support Greenland and Denmark while avoiding any potential missteps that could widen the divide between themselves and the U.S. administration. An urgent meeting has been requested with the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio by Denmark's foreign minister and his counterpart in Greenland. Meanwhile, today, a Greenlandic member of the Danish parliament said the threats by U.S. President Donald Trump to take Greenland for national security reasons are disrespectful.
This is completely appalling to me, if you ask me. I think it's a completely wrong way to collaborate with other partners, and this is something that, I'm very opposed to, even talking in these kind of senses, so it's very disrespectful towards the Greenlandic people.
The Danish Prime Minister went further Monday, saying any military action by the U.S. to seize Greenland would be the end of NATO. Denmark is a member giving protection to Greenland. So if the U.S. launched any sort of military action, it would be one NATO member attacking another. 5 European leaders and the UK released a statement yesterday saying they are determined to ensure Arctic security, as is the U.S., and that it should be done by NATO allies collectively. Any action taken by Europe could lead to criticism or worse from the U.S. president. He has on several occasions accused Europe of being weak and unable to protect itself, often citing defense investment levels among NATO countries. As for the threat of the U.S. invading Greenland, France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot told French media that he spoke with Rubio on the phone Tuesday and that the U.S. Secretary of State ruled out an invasion. Barrot said France wants to take action in support of Denmark and Greenland, but wants to do something along with other European partners. The chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Finland's parliament said the issue should be raised by NATO. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
Los Angeles is marking 1 year since the outbreak of historic wildfires. They burned for 3 weeks, killing 31 people and destroying homes in the thousands. Steve Futterman reports on the rebuilding and the remembering.
Here in this heavily damaged area of Pacific Palisades, you see the lot behind me. Basically, nothing's been done in the past year. But take a look at the lot behind me now. Well, that home is more than 25% complete, and you see these different stages of rebuilding on all the streets here. Some homes, the frame is up, and in some cases, homes are nearing completion.
I'm very hopeful, and I have a lot of friends who are building back. We're all hopeful that that most of our friends will come back, because none of us want to be here alone.
Now, as you might expect, there's lots of construction taking place up and down these streets. We have seen the trucks going up and down the streets, the large trucks carrying lumber, some cement mixers. We spoke to one general contractor. His brother lost a home here. He's now working on rebuilding around 5 homes.
Mood is build, go. It is going to be a long process, but there's a lot of work going on up here, and it's actually kind of nice to see.
Now, last night, a special service took place at the nearby Brentwood Presbyterian Church to mark this 1-year anniversary. We spoke to some of those who showed up.
I thought it's nice the day before the anniversary to just take a breath and be in a quiet space with people and just reflect on the year we've been through and support each other. And it's hard not to have our church.
There are still many, many people unable to rebuild. They don't have enough money. They haven't received enough compensation from their insurance companies. And a year later, there's still lots of finger pointing. Take a look at this sign here. You see the names of California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass. And there are many lawsuits that have been filed. The legal battles resulting from this fire will go on for years. Steve Futterman, CBC News, Los Angeles.
The Swiss bar at the center of a deadly New Year's fire went years without a safety inspection. Investigators have zeroed in on the ceiling with foam lining that was likely the accelerant. And as Sarah Levitt explains, it's not the first time the material has led to fires with deadly results.
The memorial outside Le Constellation continues to grow. Commemorating the 40 lives lost in this Swiss ski town, another 116 were injured. Now word fire inspectors hadn't been to Le Constellation in years. There hasn't been a safety inspection at the bar since 2019, says Crans-Montana Mayor Nicolas Ferraud. Videos show the inferno on New Year's and the likely cause. Sparklers attached to bottles ignite the foam-clad ceiling in the basement bar. Partygoers, many of them teenagers, scrambled to get out. Authorities say the foam on the ceiling was considered acceptable at the last inspection, and a fire alarm was not required for a venue of that size.
Nous le regrettons amèrement.
We deeply regret this, the mayor says. Small consolation for those who have lost loved ones. It's a disgrace and an absurd one, says Ezio Didone, whose 16-year-old great-nephew Achille Barossi died. Foam-lined ceilings have contributed to other deadly fires. In 2013, a flare set fire to the ceiling of a nightclub in Brazil, killing 242 people and injuring more than 600. And in 2015 in Bucharest, a nightclub fire killed 64 and eventually led to the resignation of Romania's prime minister. In Canada, certain acoustic foam, often used in music venues, is legal as long as it's covered by a thermal barrier like drywall.
We were very conscious of this kind of risk, and anytime our inspectors encountered that kind of material, they immediately took action to have it removed.
In Crans-Montana, authorities promised to inspect all public buildings as soon as possible. The two bar owners are being investigated for negligence, but so far aren't facing any charges. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
A growing number of seniors are becoming homeless due to economic hardship. One Vancouver shelter has responded by taking unprecedented steps to accommodate older people. Tanya Fletcher takes us there to look at the problem and what can be done to address it.
I slept here last night.
This is home for Mohinder Kunkun these days. The 68-year-old wound up on the streets after a stay in the hospital left him behind on rent. He was evicted, now left with his pension and little else.
I can easily get a place for $1,100 to $1,200 somewhere. What am I supposed to live on, $400 a month?
He says many seniors are struggling to make ends meet on a fixed income, outpaced by the cost of living.
The price out of everything, even renting an apartment. Every time you go to the store, every month, every 2 months, the price of something going up 10 cents.
So about a third of our shelter users are what we would consider elderly.
Since the pandemic, staff at the Union Gospel Mission on Vancouver's downtown east side have noticed a steady increase in seniors staying at the shelter. And as they age, they say their needs become more complex.
What we have in here is we've got the accessibility shower, we have a slightly lower sink.
In November, for the first time ever, home care aides started coming to the shelter to help seniors with basic tasks like taking a shower.
And when more and more people have more and more accommodations that are required, it actually becomes more difficult to be able to serve people because we're not actually a senior care facility. We're meant to be an emergency stopgap.
Seniors' homelessness is bad now, and it's about to get much worse.
National Seniors Advocacy Group CanAge says homelessness is on the rise right across Canada. Federal data shows the number of seniors relying on shelters rose by roughly 47% from 2021 to 2024.
This is actually also older people who own their own houses or who have had stable rentals who now are finding that they can't keep up with the costs, or they have additional health needs and where they're living doesn't suit, but they can't find appropriate accommodation either.
She says the federal government needs to prioritize a more robust housing policy for the aging population. In the meantime, shelters like this will continue serving more seniors despite being stretched nearly beyond their ability. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.
Canada's main stock index slid today, weighed down by losses in the industrials and basic materials sectors. U.S. markets also dipped. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Well, it has at times really been spilling out there tonight.
Absolutely wet and dirty, right?
Yeah, cold, wet. I mean, I guess better than getting buried, but it's maybe not because, of course, a lot of folks looking for the snow this time of year. But yeah, definitely if you're going to be out this evening, and it goes for you too, drive home safe because it is definitely hydroplane potential with the rain coming down. Let's have a look at our viewer picture of the day. On a brighter note, we're going to zoom in just outside of Halifax and Ferguson's Cove. And how about this?
Wow. Right, all right. That's gorgeous.
Sunrise,
that is a sunrise shot. Thanks to Tracy with this terrific shot. Amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. The color in that is phenomenal.
Right.
Tracy, thank you so much. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Not so nice out there tonight with the rainfall warnings in effect for Central, snowfall warnings, and a lace wet wind warning. And there is the mess that will taper off as the bulk of that moisture moves to the northeast. We do transition to snow. We're looking at totals that could get up into the 5, 10, even 15 centimeter range for northern Cumberland and Colchester and higher terrain areas of Pictou County. And a little bit of a taste of some flurry action overnight, especially over northern areas where we could see a trace to 5 centimeters. There's Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening, which clear out quite nicely with temperatures on the plus side. Let's quickly get to that 7-day. Saturday looks pretty good as well. Mid-single digits, some sun into the afternoon. Not so nice Sunday.
Not so much Sunday. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan. Staff at London Zoo busy taking stock of all its creatures, great and small.
This year is a special year because it's our bicentenary year. So at London Zoo, we've been counting animals for 200 years.
Wow, zookeepers have to tally up more than 8,000 animals in their care.
From lions and penguins and capybara to giant millipedes and a colony of leafcutter ants, which, by the way, only counts as one.
Okay.
A dip in outdoor temperatures of -4 degrees meant coaxing some residents out of their heated shelters.
But when it comes to counting fish or coral inside a water tank, staying warm or dry is not an option.
Certainly not, but they were all counted. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.